Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Fisher Fitness Coaching Podcast. This is episode 33, I think, I hope. Glad you could tune in and give me a listen. So yeah, really appreciate you listening, as always. What's been happening my end? Not much really, just had a decent workshop last week. I had a guy called a mindset coach called Tommy. He came on and did a workshop for my clients and myself last week, which was really successful. Got some really good feedback from my clients, which is good. So that was fun. I'm going to try and do more of those things in this year. Get other coaches coming on to give workshops and webinars, just to offer more value to my clients. Really, something I want to start doing more of. So that was good. Excuse me. What else is happening? Not much. My beard's getting really long. That's one thing I've noticed. It's weird, like, obviously beards grow, hair grows, but with me, it just seems like it comes out of nowhere. I have a shave, I have like a bit of a tidy up, bit of a trim, and it's all good, it's all good, it's all good, and then suddenly, bang, it just comes out of nowhere. It's just very, very bushy in a minute. So I'm at that stage of thinking, shall I cut it again? Shall I leave it to grow? When it gets like this, it gets very hard to control and just looks a bit, I don't know, it looks a bit shit, I think. But then I get mixed reviews. My dad hates it. My dad doesn't like my beard. But other people do. But it's about what I like, isn't it? And do I like it? I don't know. I don't know if I like it or not. Yeah. So that's me. I've got a very exciting guest on in a couple of weeks, which is quite a little bit nerve-wracking, but yeah, it's very exciting. So it's a guy called Andy Morgan. He's a online coach in Japan, very successful online coach, someone who I've been following for a while, has the most amazing website. It's unreal. It's full, absolutely full of like research, information, education to read. So it's ideal. And the good thing is we both sort of coach the same or very similar demographic. So men, well, I say similar. We both coach men or mainly men, but his is more sort of he's more um, he aims at sort of executive entrepreneurs, that sort of thing. Whereas I am your sort of usual mid-30s lad who likes to go out at the weekends, have a few beers, enjoy the food, a bit laddie. Hence the program Jacked for Lads. So, but the fact that we both mainly coach men is cool. It means we can I can sort of get some ideas off him. I can ask him questions. But anyway, that's really exciting. He's got a best-selling book, The Muscle and Strength Pyramid. He's got a training edition and a nutrition edition, and it's just absolutely packed full of awesome information. So it's really good for me because I can learn a lot from him. So that's good. I don't know the exact topic we're going to discuss just yet, but that's up to me to have a think about and get some questions done. And so I'm at that sort of research point where I'm now just reading a load of his articles and getting to know about a bit more about him and his ideologies, I suppose, when it comes to training and nutrition and coaching. So yeah, really looking forward to that. That'll be good. Yeah, he's got a really good podcast too. So have a listen. It's called the Ripped Body Podcast. Really, really good stuff. Anyway, so I'm gonna chat about. I guess it's going on from what I just mentioned, the Ripped Body Podcast. It's I'm going to go through briefly today, so it shouldn't be a long one, how to build a body you're proud of and look and feel awesome naked. Because the reason I'm going to do this is because I'm going off averages here, and with most of the clients I coach, and just through understanding what people want deep down, it's mostly, I'm saying mostly here, averages, not everyone. It's mostly about how people feel in their own body and how people want to look, and how people want to look in their own skin and look and feel in their own skin. And 9 times out of 10, if you really dig deep into what people want, it's they want to feel more confident naked. They want to feel comfortable in the body they have. They want to, which then moves on to them wanting to lose body fat and or build muscle. It comes down to those two things normally. Now, yes, you may be listening to this thinking, well, I don't want to. That's not my goal. I love how I look. I'm very comfortable in my own skin. I just want to get stronger. Whatever. Okay, fair enough. That's good. That's amazing. But like I said, I'm going off averages here. I've spoken to a lot of people. I've coached a lot of people, and it mostly comes down to that individual wanting to change how they look in some way. So in their minds, it might be, well, I want to just look a bit more toned. I want to get a bit more definition on my arms. I want to get a bigger chest. I want to, I want my glutes to be a bit firmer. I want my abs to be a bit tighter. So all these words which I've heard before, and every single one of these things all comes down to fat loss and or muscle growth. So what I'm saying is, to build a body you're proud of, to build the body of your dreams, and to feel confident naked, feel confident at the beach topless, feel confident in the bedroom, for example, you only need to do two things: lose fat, gain muscle. That's it. Those are the only two things you need to focus on. Now, whether or not it's one of more, less of the other, or vice versa, then that's down to the individual. I don't know you. So if you're listening to this thinking, yeah, that's me, that's what I want to achieve, I don't know you. I don't know how you look. I don't know your body fat percentage. I don't know your body composition levels or ratios. So it's hard, it's impossible for me to say you need to focus on fat loss first and then focus on building muscle. But it comes down to those two things. So I'll go through how to achieve those two things now. So let's start on fat loss. It's very, very simple. You need to essentially work on losing just body fat, not body weight, because weight counts as muscle and food and muscle glycogen and water. So we don't want to lose muscle. We don't want to lose water necessarily. We don't want to lose muscle glycogen, which, although you will when you start weight training, but then it'll fill back up again. But anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. We need to focus purely on fat loss, not weight loss, fat loss. And to lose fat, we need to keep hold of the muscle tissue while being in a consistent calorie deficit. That's the only way you're going to lose body fat, by consuming less calories than you are burning. It's nothing to do with the type of diet, like intermittent fasting. It's not the keto diet. It's not paleo. It's not vegan. It's not the carnivore diet. Any of these ridiculous diets, the juice diet, the Cambridge diet. It's not that. It's all of these diets you've heard of. They work because they create a calorie deficit, or they help to create a calorie deficit. So I don't want you to focus on any diets, quote unquote diets. I want you to focus on controlling the amount of calories that goes into your mouth. And you do that by tracking your food. You can also do that by just focusing on cleaning up your diet, like having more vegetables, more protein, more fruits, more whole foods, more potatoes, and less ultra processed food, less alcohol. It's about controlling the amount of calories that goes into your mouth. Okay, and also potentially increasing the energy output, so moving more, sitting down less, maybe having a step target, like a 10,000 step, 10,000 daily step target, for example, to hit. Because it's not the magic number of 10,000, it's the fact that you're moving more, you're expending more calories on average throughout the week, which is going to help you create the negative energy balance you need to lose body fat. So don't focus on any particular diet. You need to find out your rough maintenance calories. So annoying. Sorry, someone just tried to call me on my phone and it automatically goes to my laptop and it messes everything up. So frustrating. I bet it's Sky or something as well. My God. Anyway, you need to find out what your rough estimate maintenance calories are, and it's all just estimates. I'll just go into that now. Everything regarding calories is estimates. So everything numeral, is that the word? Don't even know. Numeral. Regarding calories, so the calories you see on food labels, the calories you see on your smartwatch, on MyFitnessPal, anything, it's estimates. No one really knows the 100% accurate number. So just take everything you see calories wise with a pinch of salt. So find out your rough estimate maintenance calories. So you can do that by going onto, you can go on to a calorie calculator website on Google, for example. There's loads of them. I have one on my website. I have one on the Ultimate Training Program, which you can download for free. You put in your details and it'll come up with your maintenance calories. That's the amount of calories you need to maintain body weight, hence maintenance. To get your calorie deficit calories, take away 300 to 500 from that number. That gives you the calorie budget you are required to lose body fat. So take that number and then start tracking your food on a daily basis and just don't go over that number too much. Like, it doesn't matter if you are like 50 calories over or under, or 100 calories over or under, as long as you're around that figure consistently and you weigh yourself every morning to get an idea of what your body weight is doing. Take the average of your body weight at the end of the week, and as long as your body weight is on average going down, then you are in a calorie deficit and you are losing body fat. And that's all you need to do in terms of fat loss. The good thing about this is you have food freedom. Like you can eat what you want. Like tracking your food, it's up to you what you eat. It's better to have more vegetables and more fruit and more whole foods and less ultra processed foods. But it doesn't matter if you have a chocolate bar every now and then or a bag of crisps or something, as long as it's tracked, as long as you are not going over your daily calorie budget by too much. And as long as you're losing weight over time, you're losing body fat. Okay, so that's fat loss. Okay, that is fat loss. Right, so let's move on to building muscle, because if you're someone who has a lot of body fat to lose, then yes, your aim is to probably lose body fat at the start. Okay, so let's pretend you've been in a 12-week or on a 12-week fat loss phase and you've lost, a decent amount of body fat, but you're looking a bit skinny, right? You haven't got much muscle tissue. So then, and also you're still not happy. You're not still massively happy with how you look naked, right? So then we'll probably need to focus on building muscle. What we do then is everything else, by the way, in the gym, So during your fat loss phase, you should still be training in the gym 3 to 5 times a week, lifting weights, training to get stronger and build muscle. That doesn't change. So no matter if you're on a fat loss phase or a building phase, your training does not change. Your training stays exactly the same. The only thing that may differ is the amount of volume you do during your fat loss phase, because your recovery can take a hit because you're consuming less calories, right? But in terms of exercises, or in terms of structure, in terms of your goal in the gym, it should always be to build muscle and get stronger. The exercise variations can obviously change if you want to switch it up, or if you want a bit more sort of or if you get bored, if you get a bit stagnant of your training, yes, by all means change the variations of the exercise, but the principles of the training stay exactly the same. Big sort of compound push-pull, squat, hinge movements with some isolation stuff in there as well. So that doesn't change. The training stays exactly the same, depending on whether or not you're in a fat loss phase or a muscle building phase. The only thing that changes is the amount of calories you are consuming. So remember I said for fat loss phase, we need to control the calories you consume, so reduce your calorie intake to create a deficit. But to build muscle now, we need to increase those calories to get you into a slight surplus, a calorie surplus. And a calorie surplus is when you're consuming more calories than you're burning. A calorie surplus puts you in the best environment for you to build muscle tissue. And that's what you want to build muscle tissue. You want to be in a slight calorie surplus. If the calorie surplus is too big, so if you're consuming way more calories than you're burning, then you're risking a lot of fat gain. And obviously we want to keep the body fat gain to a minimum after working hard all that time, losing body fat. We don't want to gain too much, but we do want to keep fat gain to a minimum while maximizing muscle growth. And we do that by keeping protein high, as always. So protein stays high during muscle growth and fat loss. The only thing that's different is the amount of calories. So create a slight calorie surplus. I'm talking 100 to 300 calories over your maintenance. That's a good guide. Training stays the same. Training will improve because you're consuming more calories. You have more energy, so your training will be better. You'll get stronger and you'll build more muscle. And you do that for as long as you need, or as long as you want, to build the body that you want. So if we focus on all the main exercises I mentioned, like the push-pull, squat, hinge, vertical, horizontal presses and pulls, you're going to work on all the major muscle groups, the shoulders, chest, back, arms, legs, glutes. If you do that over 3, 4, 5 months, then all the major muscle groups, even the biceps and triceps, will grow. And you do that while keeping body fat gain to a minimum. Then over time, you're going to build the body of your dreams. You're going to build this physique you've always wanted. So bigger, more defined chest, bigger, more defined back, bigger legs, bigger quads, bigger shoulders and arms. Okay, and that's all you do. And then after your muscle building phase, if you've been training to build muscle for, like, let's say 6 months, and you think, right, I'm happy with my size, I've gained a little bit of body fat, because you probably will do in a slight calorie surplus. It's very hard not to gain any body fat in a building phase. So then what you do is go back to a fat loss phase. So all this muscle you've built in your building phase, your aim is to keep that, is to retain it. And then simply switch back to a fat loss phase. You'd retain the muscle you've built and just lose the body fat you've gained over the last 6 months. And then once you finished your fat loss phase, then you should be in a really, really good place. You would have built a very decent physique. But obviously, this takes lots of time, this takes lots of effort, and it takes lots of commitment. The commitment must be, pretty huge, but that's essentially how it works. You move from, let's say you start in a fat loss phase, then move to a building phase, and then you go from a building phase to a fat loss phase, and you keep cycling those phases until you've built the body you've always wanted. And then you simply go to maintenance. But I'm not going to go into that too much today, because I just wanted to touch on how you would build, like what the process would be to build a body you are proud of. And that's essentially how it's done. The reason I'm not going to go into that in too much detail is because I want to talk to Andy about in way more detail about the building, the cutting phases and the bulking phases. And I want to go into a bit more detail on body recomposition. How do you know if you should be starting on a bulking phase or a cut or body recomp? Because I guarantee there'll be people listening to this thinking, well, I don't know if I should be cutting. I don't know if I should be bulking, and I don't know if I should be starting or trying to do a body recomposition, because that's something you can do as well. But I'm not going to go into that too much yet. I'm going to wait until I've had a chat with Andy to get some questions, just sort of, and just just make sure that we're going to discuss that in more detail, because he obviously knows a lot more. Well, I would say, I'd say he would know a lot more about all that than me, because he's written a book. He's written a book on it, and he's far more knowledgeable in that sense than me. So it'll be great to get some stuff learned from him, and obviously you'll be learning a lot as well. So yeah, it'll be a really good episode. So I'll leave it there on that. What am I going to do now? Yeah, I'm going to go train now. So I'm going to go to the gym and do upper body. Those of you who care, I do an upper-lower split 4 times a week. Upper today and then lower tomorrow. I've already done 1 upper and 1 lower this week. So I do 4 times a week. Upper, lower, upper, lower. What exercises? Should I tell you my exercises? Yeah, I do a slight incline dumbbell bench press. And then I do a seated row. And then dumbbell shoulder press, and then a lat pull down. And then I do some isolation stuff to finish, like some pec fly and reverse flies, lateral raises, some accessory work. That's it. And then I'm going to head into the city. I don't know why I'm telling you this. Just sort of rambling now. What do I need? I need some new trackies. This is what I need. I need, if anyone knows, I need some decent tracksuit bottoms, some decent trackies, which are nice and snug on the calf, but not too tight on the quads and glutes. And also, they don't, when you squat, they don't like go halfway down your legs. Lots of my trackies I wear while squatting end up like halfway down my legs, and it's just a bit awkward. I've got to keep pulling my trackies up every time. So if anyone knows any decent brands out there, let me know, and I need some. But they need to look cool as well. Remember, not too baggy, nice and tight around the calf, or not too tight, like snug, cuffed, I think the term is. Anyway, before I bore you to death, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for listening, as always. I appreciate it. Any questions, as always, let me know. Ask me on Instagram. I'll get back to you personally with an answer. If you haven't yet, download my Ultimate Training Program. It's got everything in there you need to build the body of your dreams and a body you are proud of. Also comes with a video tutorial, so you know exactly what to do and how to use each tab and how to find out your calories. Anyway, have a good day and week, and I'll speak to you next week. Take care.